Hello, and welcome to a fan reads Bantha Tracks. This time I will be reading Bantha Tracks Issue number 13, August 1981. Woo! The first part says Pre-Production. Pre-Production Part 1. Now, is that Part 1 as in Part 1 and then Part 2 is in the next issue? Or is Part 2 inside? Ooh, this is really big. Look at this. This folds out quite a bit. Let's see what pre-production is all about. It's an excerpt from an interview with co-producers Robert Watts and Jim Bloom. Let's hope they talk about Star Wars or Revenge of the Jedi, unlike last issue, which was an interview with Steven Spielberg. Robert Watts. A simple definition of pre-production is anything that has to take place before we can start principal photography. Anything that is necessary before you can roll the first camera is pre-production. Anything that has to be done after principal photography is post-production. Square one starts before any of us are involved. When executive producer George Lucas writes a storyline that will grow into the script, once we have this treatment, we can start work. And this one's from Jim Bloom. George Lucas' basic storyline gives us some idea of where the story is going, what sort of ideas will be presented, and what kind of locations will be needed. The first stage of pre-production is a conceptual stage. During this critical period, George meets weekly with Norman Reynolds, the production designer, Ralph McQuarrie, the conceptual artist, and Joe Johnston, the art director of ILM. George will provide an idea that these three will bounce around to eventually develop conceptual designs, sketches, and notes that are added to the treatment. Each week's work is shown to George, and he incorporates those ideas or parts of ideas he likes into the developing script. At the same time, Norman, Robert, and myself are out scouting locations. In the United States, location hunting is called a scouting trip. But in England, it would be called a recce, short for reconnaissance. On Jedi, we spent close to 2 months scouting all around the world. For Empire, we shot a location up in the... I don't know this word. Maybe... I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's a glacier. In negative 20-degree weather for 6 weeks for 14 hours a day. The Norwegians told us the human body could not withstand that kind of punishment. During the filming of A New Hope, the Tunisians thought we were crazy to work in the Sahara Desert at the height of summer. You find out the old adage, only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun, is true. English filmmakers and technicians are more experienced in working in adverse conditions than their American counterparts, because the American backyard is far more varied than the English. In England, there's not a great variety of terrain. Everything you might shoot is obviously English terrain. If an English filmmaker needs a foreign terrain, tropical or glacier or whatever, it has to be shot abroad. After we scouted the locations for Jedi, we presented a composite of our photographs for potential locations, which were based on the early storyline's requirements. The photos were shown to George, who would then decide if this place on Earth can be used for that planet in the galaxy. Story ideas of what could possibly happen. That's a misprint or a typo. It says story ideas of what could possibly happen. It should be possibly. On that location began to evolve from the photographs and our experiences. This part of the conceptual stage begins to further define both the script and the production requirements. Things continue to narrow until that final day of pre-production, the last day before principal photography begins. During the conceptual stage, after locations have been decided upon and George and our director have visited them, we begin to plan the studio sets. A lot of design concepts that have been seen and agreed upon will now go into practical production and be physically built. Costumes have been designed and must be manufactured. Props have to be built. But you can't just rent these props because they don't exist. So every new robot, all radio-controlled equipment, and the special effects have to be produced before they are needed for principal photography. When we get a script such as Empire, it's easy to read about the Walker battle beginning when those huge all-terrain armored transports approach across a frozen land snowscape. But when it came down to actually putting that on a movie screen, we had to sit down with Norman Reynolds, the action unit from England, and the technicians from Ireland and spent several days in conference deciding which props and pieces are going to be built full scale, and which, like the AT-AT walkers in Empire, were to be 17 inches models optically made to appear 50 feet high. We really pride ourselves on our communication, coordination, and organization. We do pride ourselves on making great movies. As soon as anyone starts work in Jedi, I welcome them on and tell them we're going to make this chapter of the Star Wars saga better than the last two. The idea is to instill a spirit in the people working on our picture, that our goal is to surpass ourselves again with the recognized budget. We will make an even better film for that price. Principal photography with the cameras filming the actors on a real full-size set begins on January 13th, 1981. Which means it already began, because it's August. Hello. Miniature photography at ILM will start before that. I can't really give you a date, but we are planning the first ILM photographic effects for December 1981. Revenge of the Jedi will be filmed at EMI Elstree Studios in England, on location in Germany, and possibly in Tunisia. Wow, I'm so excited for Revenge of the Jedi! And now the answers to the previous episode's trivia questions. To what star system must Luke travel to learn the ways of the Force? The Dagobah system. What keeps malfunctioning on the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy? The hyperdrive. I want to share with you something I got through Bantha Tracks. Yes, I got the Empire Strikes Back poster album. It looks fantastic. It has all the Kara's Princess Leia on the back. That looks so cool. Let's see. Then on the inside, there's Darth Vader and Chewbacca. That looks so cool. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at this. This looks really cool. Look at that. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, and C-3PO and R2-D2. So cool. Here it is up close. Then on the inside looks really cool too. Whoa, look at that. This has, what is it? It has information about all the actors. How cool is that? This is really cool. Now I need to find a place to put this up on my wall. What is this? Time capsule. At this year's 4th of July company picnic, a Lucasfilm time capsule was filled with Star Wars memorabilia and placed into the cornerstone of the main building at Skywalker Ranch. The time capsule, designed by Industrial Light and Magic, is a black cylinder, 36 inches long and 7 inches in diameter. During a commemorative ceremony, George filled the time capsule with a series of representative mementos from Lucasfilm. In no particular order, the items included the 17-minute version of The Empire Strikes Back, several Star Wars action figures, the Art of Star Wars and the Art of The Empire Strikes Back, a miniature AT-AT walker and a rosebud crystal ball, 2 Voyager buttons, a computer graphics t-shirt with a design meaning no jagged edges, the original Lucasfilm contract with Universal for American Graffiti, and an unnamed science fiction movie, guess which one, a bottle of Skywalker wine, Lucite stars labeled Star Wars, and May the Force be with you, and much, much more. As the time capsule filled, someone in the crowd yelled, "You don't have anything from Raiders in there!" Hearing this, Raiders of the Lost Ark producer Frank Marshall rushed forward and offered his prized cast and crew Raider's hat to prevent this
unspeakable possibility.
How about some The Empire Strikes Back trivia? Who tracks the Millennium Falcon to Cloud City? After being captured by Darth Vader, what is Han encased in? The answers to these trivia questions will be given on the next episode. If you don't know the answers, that's okay. Just go see The Empire Strikes Back again. Or ask a friend who's seen it a lot. Because how else would you get the answers? What's next? Selecting a director for Revenge of the Jedi. Howard Kazanjian, who was named producer of Revenge of the Jedi, in his interview in Bantha Tracks number 11, February 1981, has been asked about his selection of a director for Jedi. Excerpt from producer Kazanjian's reply to the question, "How did you go about selecting a director?" are condensed below. In January, Howard Kazanjian began searching for an energetic and dynamic director to continue the Star Wars saga in the style established by George Lucas and Irvin Kershner. A director whose creative talents could make a big picture, yet could keep in mind A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, and try not to totally change the characters and establish style. While the director will have broad freedom and flexibility, Revenge of the Jedi must retain the flavor of a chapter of the Star Wars saga. As potential names came in, they were compiled onto the A list, those Lucasfilm was very interested in, and the B list, those directors who for one reason or another were passed. The A list was contacted and each was asked if he was interested in directing Revenge of the Jedi, and if he was free to do it. Anyone not interested or available was moved to the B list. Once the A list shrank to the top 12 candidates, producer Kazanjian began interviewing people each director had worked with, asking what type of person he was. Is he positive? How does he work with his cast and crew? How does he treat his crew? What does the cast and crew think of him? Did he come in on budget? Did he care about the budget? And was he money conscious? Those directors who didn't care for their crew weren't money conscious, or who left their cast and crew disliking them were quickly added to the B list. When the A list was down to only 3, those directors were invited to tour Industrial Light and Magic and meet with George Lucas to discuss Jedi. Eventually, the difficult decision was made. The director of Star Wars Episode 6, Revenge of the Jedi, will be English director Richard Marquand. Richard Marquand is the director of the film Eye of the Needle, a thriller love story set in England World War II. He also directed The Legacy and quite a bit of British television. Producer Kazanjian said, "There is a certain sparkle about Richard's work that made him our final choice." I want to share this really cool patch that I got from the fan club. It's Star Wars, A New Hope. Look how very colorful that is. Love the what do you call it? Is it called embroidery? But it's very colorful with the planet in the back, and I'm sure that's got to be Luke Skywalker right there. Look at that. That looks fantastic. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous coloring there. That's awesome. Just wanted to share that. Getting more stuff.
Luke Skywalker handles his saber well, Ben Kenobi. You should know, Yoda. Yes, I've been the Jedi Master for 800 years.
Yoda and other action figures each sold separately.
Beep, 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 beep. It's okay, R2-D2. I've got my laser pistol. Hold it, Luke. They're afraid of your snake, Yoda. You have nothing to fear. The Force is all around us.
Yoda and other action figures each sold separately. From Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection. From Kenner.
Profile: Kumi Okamoto, Japanese cartoonist. Official Star Wars fan club member Kumi Okamoto, 17, of Tokyo, Japan, wants to go to design school to become an illustrator. Currently, she likes to draw cartoons of Star Wars saga characters like those featured on this page. For models, she uses her pets, a dog, a rabbit, a mouse, 9 shell grass parakeets, even lovebirds, 2 tortoises, a lizard, and 5 goldfish. She feels her menagerie would be complete if she just had a little tauntaun of her own to raise. Kumi organized some local enthusiasts into a fan club called Little Falcon. Her cartoons appear in the club's monthly newsletter, where members mostly chatter about Star Wars. Occasionally, they even hold a meeting. We hope you enjoy the delightful cartoons of Kumi as much as we do. May the Force be with you. No more articles. There's lots of promotional stuff. There's the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie one sheet. Am I missing something? Newsletter of the official Star Wars fan club. Yet they're selling a Raiders of the Lost Ark coaster. The Empire promotional art portfolio. I think that was on sale last time. Very cool. And we got the Empire Strikes Back poster album. I already got it. Then there's Vader in Flames embroidered patch. There's Star Wars A New Hope embroidered patch, which I have and I've already shared. The original Star Wars fan club membership. Ooh. I should totally get that. There's a Luke Skywalker fatigue jacket. Newsletter back issues. They're getting a lot more things to buy. Ugh, if only I had the money. But that's pretty much it for Bantha Tracks, the official newsletter of the Star Wars fan club. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.